And here we are,
No matter where you go, there you are.
right?
All right, let's lead off with Mr. Fettis.
Yes.
We've left this
Exactly.
guy messages since February
Yep.
and
then
never had a conversation with him.
Correct.
Then what
And
happened?
then so we, multiple of the times calling and never get back anything. And then all of a sudden yesterday I'm off, or not yesterday, but a couple of days ago, I'm out and about and happened to drive by there as I usually always do. And I finally see the infamous for rent sign. And it's like, give it the phone number. And it's like, hey, this is the phone number we've been calling the whole time. So I messaged you with the picture of the phone number. And
So there's a for lease sign smack dab on the laundromat glass.
Yes.
Not in the parking lot, not up the block, not on the building. Correct. It is evident and obvious that they want to lease the laundromat.
Yep.
All
and
right.
The funny thing is that I
it better be funny.
Today. I drove by there today and the sign was down real quick. So I don't know, maybe the operator was in there, took it down. Who knows? But yeah.
Well, hold on. It's very rare that the what makes you think the operator is different than the landlord?
I know. I can tell that the operator. I interacted with the operator when I went there, so I definitely know this is the same guy. But anyway,
well, I would think that my first reaction as you, the student, the client, the wannabe laundromat operator, that you'd think the sign came down because they leased it to somebody. First of all, the pool of potential renters is not really the type of people that go there and walk into the laundromat. That's not who you want to lease the space to. It's very rubish to put a sign up like that.
Yeah.
But the sign is, as far as you know, down. So what happened next? I told you to text the number, right?
Yes. I texted the number that came back as an invalid number. And then after that number had come back as wrong, you messaged me and said, wait till the morning and then call them to, we can just leave a message that we'll be back in touch. Well, I called and maybe this guy is just an early guy because I called at about 8:30 this morning, our time, which would, get in touch with him while he's actually there. And he picked right up. And I said, hi. And he said, hi, I'm just calling.
Jeff, for the love of God, just tell me what happened, not how you put your pants on and how many buttons there were.
Well, I just told him, I said, hey, we've been trying to reach you for a while, about your store. I'm going to have my partner, Danny, give you a call today. We want to talk about long-term lease.
And he gave you a separate and different number, which is his wireless number. And correct. You said, my partner is going to call from a 480 number.
Yes. I talked to him.
Hallelujah.
And I said that, we've, because he said he had
I'm calling. Here we go.
Okay. Sure.
I can't do it. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss these lives.
Hello.
Is it Steven or Steve?
Yes.
Steven?
I'm here, Dan.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Well, it's Danny. I'm wondering if I should call you Steve or Steven.
Either one's okay.
So I've been in coin laundries for 16 years in 3 states. You spoke to my partner, Jeff, briefly.
Mm-hmm.
We are local. We are interested in predominantly infrastructure, to be frank. The gas, water, electric is in the location. And Stephen, if the rent makes sense, we would like to lease this space from you long-term, retool it, spend a few $100,000 on washers and dryers, and make it yet another successful store. Make sure we pay you the rent on time.
Okay, well, I'm willing to listen to see what you got in mind. I am talking to somebody else at this time who claims to be able to do the same thing.
Okay.
Someone local.
How many
when
stores?
You say you're local, where are you from?
How many
Hello?
stores? How many stores do they have?
They have one.
We're in Hebron.
You're in Hebron?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So my first inclination, Stephen, my first inclination is to say, I wish you well. I wish you luck. And you should certainly figure out what goes on. I just, I have some limitations as far as getting into a bidding war, essentially. Again, I can send you an email with my stores, where they are located, what we do, and how we do it. I've been trying to reach you since February, by the way. I don't know if Jeff mentioned that, but I don't
know how you could be reaching me. I'm pretty easy to find. My number's out there. My cell phone number is available.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I called the number. I called your landline, the same number I'm dialing now. I pressed extension 1 and I left several messages. Maybe I'm too eloquent and it sounded like I'm selling something, which I'm not. We want to become your tenant. Again, we have the relationships with Hips, Speed Queen, Laundromat, American Dryer, Dexter. I don't really concern myself with which equipment I put in the location, as long as they bring me the best price, the longest warranty. And now, part of the issue for us is the fact that it's hard to get anything, as you know, when parts come from China. So whether you're filling your gas tank or you're trying to buy a dozen eggs, at the end of the day, it takes us some time to get this place retooled. Let me ask, you put a sign on the glass that said for lease, and that was something new, as we've had our fingers on this store since February. So you've taken back possession of the location.
What are you saying? Yeah, well, we just put that sign up.
Okay, so you operate the laundromat, or you did operate the laundromat?
No, I did not operate the laundromat. The person who operated the laundry was a long-term tenant. It was from South Korea. He had a health problem for years and was going downhill. He had to go in for an emergency heart transplant.
Ooh. Or
something like that. And so he turned the equipment over to me and locked the doors and gave me the keys. Now, where are your laundries located, and how many do you have?
Like I said, I'll happily email you. You can have a look. And we've got stores in 3 states, tri-state area. I can send you an email with locations, before and after photos, what we do and how we do it. I'm not a broker. I don't flip or sell the stores. We are your guarantor. The simple question is this: what's the square footage and what's your asking rate of rent on this location?
Well, it's a simple question, and it's approximately, I think we have it down for 2,240 square feet. We have a scaled rent over the next 10 years, going from $1,400 to $1,700.
So you do gross lease rates?
Yeah, those are the rents you pay.
Okay. And this is your building. There's no go-between. There's no real estate agent. There's no brokers to deal with.
No.
Okay. Again, it is my first inclination, Stephen, to tell you to go through the due diligence process with another potential. I'm not into bidding wars. However, what I'd like to do, I'll send you a letter of intent, and I'll also include some photographs of our stores, etc. My partner, Jeff, who you spoke to briefly, intends to be your guarantor. And we're looking to pay that rent on time. If your potential new operator, again, this other entity, is not looking to spend $300,000 on washers and dryers, they're going to fall flat on their face. And I hate to say it, it's terrible that this former tenant of yours, the previous operator, had health issues. But beyond that, if the store is making money and you're doing well and you're paying rent on time, health issues aside, we run our stores with Alexa systems. We hope to be 24/7 as soon as we can. One good customer is your best security, and therefore having a very well-run location, a well-run laundromat, there's nothing that's going to stop you and allow you to close those doors. Health aside, I wish the guy all the luck in the world, never met him, but it's not our goal to become this specter who comes in and take over these laundromats, unless, of course, the previous operator has failed. And it's not about the location for us, it's about the infrastructure that's there. Cards on the table, the gas, water, electric. I will write you a letter of intent providing you what you are asking for. My only other question, what type of abatement can you offer us on that rate? What type of free rent can we expect?
Well, initially I would think you could have around 3 months to, set up and get going. I think that would be sufficient.
Let me talk about that. I would love it if it were 3 months to set up. And your words, set up. Well, our setup is, again, bringing in every single washer and every dryer in this store will be gone. We are going to retool it. We will make our best level effort to run it the way that it is by fixing every piece of equipment that's in there, because we don't want to lose the goodwill that's already coming in. Are you still keeping the doors open?
No.
Okay. So having the doors shut for any length of time, I think about the customer, Stephen. So imagine that one consumer that used to use this laundromat. Now that they see the doors are closed, what do you think they do immediately? Well, I can tell you, they don't take their laundry home and say, well, I'll wait until it reopens. They find another service center. No one drives around town with laundry in their trunk looking for a laundromat. They're going to find a service center. They're going to go there. And if it's a nicer, newer store, they'll likely stay there. So it's a bit of a death knell for us to have these places closed. So the clock is ticking, so to speak. And I want to be certain that we can get in, get the place open, get the doors open. I don't blame you for closing it. It's not your business. You're not interested or intrigued in running it. But we are, and we want to bring those consumers back. So we've looked at the area, obviously. We're looking to build out another store, and the rent is commensurate where we need to be. I'm not going to try to beat you up on that, but that letter of intent will be in your hands today, and we are ready to move. I can't order equipment for this location until I have a lease. That should make sense to you. And once I have a lease, I have to bring all of the distributors in to get the equipment in as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do, how we do it. And I'm glad that your other potential has a laundromat, because I'd be leery of someone that doesn't know how this works. Also, I'd be cautious if someone was intending to run it the way that it is, because there's no profit there. But you know that.
Oh, yes, of course.
Stephen,
well,
what?
He had near the end, he had a little different business model than you would think. He did very little coin up, mostly dry.
Drop off.
Take it in, wash, dry, and fold.
Well, I can speak on that. We do wash, dry, fold in the store, and we give that business away. We actually give it away to a contract attendant. So there is so little profit to be made. If I'm paying someone the legal minimum wage, I'm churning through one potential employee after the next. It's not easy to keep folks. Forget about the state of the economy. It's just not a simple matter. So I have learned that lesson. Now we use contract attendants. I will hand someone, just like that gentleman who was making his entire income on wash, dry, fold, I'm going to give that business to someone. So what I end up with is not an employee, not a partner, but somewhere in between, where that contract attendant really, really gives that place a feeling of ownership to that individual. And when folks come in and use the store, he doesn't have access to the money, but he has access to all of the other business rights. He's able to come and go as he pleases, or she, and it works really well. That's another thing we need to do right away, is get that help wanted sign up. What's the best email address for you, Stephen?
For using my fax,
Okay.
it's
Give us a few hours to find a fax machine and put a letter of intent in your hands. That will include everything. And I want to go back to abatement. I can't get equipment for this store in 3 months. I can't even hope to get this store retooled in 3 months. I'm looking for a 15-year lease in total. I assume that's appropriate.
I probably would go a maximum of 5 and 5. That's 10, and then
Let me tell you why I need 15 years. Firstly, if you find someone willing to do a 5-year term, it's a joke. They're dipping their toe in the water. We need 15 because every 7 years, number one, my tax benefits run out on new equipment. So number two, I'm going to be retooling that store every 7 equals 15 approximately. The equipment has a fiscal life and a physical life. I can keep the stuff running for 30 years, but it's hard to make money when you're constantly fixing it. That should make sense to you. So we can do a 5, and a 5. I've really never known a landlord that didn't want a long-term lease. And we can hammer out what the increases are, et cetera, and have a back and forth. I'm easy to deal with. This is my cell phone number. I appreciate you because you are the landlord himself. There's no other go-between. So let us fax you over that letter of intent. Everything will be there. Frankly, I'm going to ask for 8 months of free rent. That's what it takes for us to be successful in this space.
Well, why don't you fax it over and let me see what it's got to say? 8 months sounds a little excessive, I would think, even in today's economy of delivery constraints.
Bring some distributors into the store yourself. It's yours. You own it. Ask them how long it's going to take to get equipment in this store. 18 months. So I'm meeting you halfway, again, considering getting the equipment operating the way that it is, throwing good money after bad, and running it that way. I won't have that store retooled within the year. Sometimes I get lucky and I have a distributor that's willing to put me at the head of the line because they've already got equipment coming over. This is not baby formula or gas for the car. Parts come from China. There's no way around it. We're all learning the hard way.
Well, whose equipment do you use?
Like I said earlier, I have no preference. I speak to Hips, Speed Queen, Laundromat, ADC, Dexter, Continental Grabo. I have relationships with all of them. Whoever brings me the best price, everything fluctuates. It changes. Best price, longest warranty. It's a business. There's no Cadillac. There's no Hyundai in Laundromats. Good question.
Yep, I understand.
Look forward to doing business with you, shaking your hand. I'll send you a fax.
Okay, very good.
Ciao. Okay, I always know what I think. So here's where I ask, in a nutshell, what happened in that 20-minute call?
I think he just kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say because when he dropped his rate for the square footage, I was like shocked. Offhand.
Yeah, he's asking 62.5 cents a square foot.
Yeah, and I thought
he's topping out at what, 70, 75 cents?
Yeah,
but that's fine. He owns the building outright. He asked some pretty good pointed questions. Look, this guy didn't pick up his phone and call us back for 4 months.
Yeah. I think maybe he just doesn't quite understand. He thinks he doesn't quite understand what he doesn't understand.
True. But here's the point. I always ask what you think. Bro, when he says I've got another party interested, it is my typical inclination just say, good luck, goodbye.
Yeah.
Do you believe him?
No.
I do.
I don't.
I always do.
Okay,
because,
sure.
look, I was asked a very long time ago in my second year of high school how trust works. We're sitting around the lunch table, and my friends considered me intelligent. And I said, well, I thought for a second, and you'll never hear this anywhere else. I feel that everyone starts with X amount of trust. And then in that relationship, you either chip away at it or you build on it. I trust this guy because I don't know that I shouldn't.
Yeah, no, he hasn't given you any inclination or indication that you shouldn't.
Correct. When he tells me that he has someone on the hook, then I said, do they have stores? Well, it's a little deeper baseball. Does he say, no, he said they have one. Okay.
Yeah.
Rewind the tape. He said they have a store. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we have more stores, and he wants to know where they are. I've never had a landlord jump in their car and go drive around looking at our stores. They don't do that.
Yep.
Can't email him. Yep. So when I said it's really typically my client, someone watching my YouTube channel, their greatest fear is that they'll make one of these calls and that landlord will say, how many stores do you have and where are they? Well,
yeah,
bro, I'll send you before and after pictures. I'll send you the addresses to my locations. And then he says, send me a fax. Good Lord.
Yep.
Put the LOI together. Offer him $1,500 day one, month one.
Yeah.
When he said that he could, when I said 8 months, what did he say? He didn't say no.
Yeah, he said that seems a little excessive.
Seems a little excessive. You're paying attention. All right, good.
Yeah.
Be gone with you. Go put the LOI together and fax it to him. Let me know when you send it.
Yeah. Based on the square footage, should we say the value of the retooling would be about $300,000?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I guess. I was figuring.
Put 375.
Okay.
All right.
375. Yeah.
Bye.
Somewhere be 150. All right. Talk to you soon.
A letter of intent is precisely that. It's our intentions. We're telling this this landlord, what we intend to do. We intend to pay the rent. Everyone intends to pay the rent on time. We intend to spend X amount of dollars. The LOI is not a lease. Our friend Steven is a little rubish, but he owns a building. He's a landowner. Good for him. He's got more than my dad ever did. He wants to do business. He did put a sign up and said for lease after us trying to reach him for 4 months. Then he pulled it down because some guy called. What I was doing the minute that he said he had another interested party was hitting him with so many knowledge bombs, letting him know, making him understand, more importantly, that we are the best possible operator. Any questions that he had are being answered and then some. 8 months seems excessive. It's not. He offered 3 without breaking a sweat. When that lease comes over, it's going to have first and last month's deposit. It always does, and that will go away. Glad you found me. Don't do me a favor. Be selfish. Subscribe to the channel because you're selfish, because you don't want to miss these lives. That's all I want.